everyone. Welcome to SSBills Talk, Season 2, Episode 3. Lawrence Foster alongside Corey Dungan on this Monday evening. Plenty of time to dissect and kind of take in what happened Saturday. So football's back, not with Josh, but still back. Lots to talk about. Impressions just quick on the overall play of the Bills against the Giants.
Well, first, I was unreasonably excited about this game. It felt like a regular season game. So, as you said, it's good to have football back. And I think there's a lot of things to like, only a handful of things that I didn't necessarily like. So, I'm overall encouraged.
So starting with the encouragement, personally, we talked a lot about the defensive linemen, the young guys, like having an opportunity coming in, and I think players like Deion Walker and T.J. Sanders really kind of made a mark in their games in their own way. Walker had a good win rate on his pass rushes, a couple splash plays.
Mm-hmm.
T.J. Sanders solid. So you and I talked about those two having a big opportunity with Holt and Ogunjobi suspended. Just thoughts on their initial NFL action for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly what we were looking for. I'll take everything with a grain of salt, even the fact that it is the preseason. They were playing against backups, sometimes third-teamers, but ultimately when they're in there, you want them to win their rep, and they did, especially Walker. I think I read that he had the highest PFF grade out of anybody. Seemed to have really nimble feet, active hands, so I really liked seeing him out there doing his thing. I'm hoping that he'll get more. I'd like to see them play against stiffer competition. So this week when they go against the Bears, I imagine both teams are going to be playing their ones, and it'd be nice for McDermott to rotate them in. But overall, very encouraged.
And when let's say you put side by side somebody like Daquan Jones played a couple of drives and did absolutely nothing, it just like you said, just winning, no matter who you're against, you still got to win the rep. So those guys doing that and just kind of, to me, it really highlighted how little Daquan has done the last year and a half of, Yes, it's preseason, but it's still, he's out there playing and he's invisible like he has been for more than a year.
Which is challenging given how massive he is. But he's going to play himself out of / Walker is going to kick him out of his job, for which I know you and I have sort of complained about Daquan the last couple of years, and he just hasn't quite been the same player. So frankly, it'll be a welcome sight if Walker, Sanders, Carter, whomever can push him out and really just be that impact defensive lineman. Obviously, Chris Jones is a one of one. But it'd be nice to have somebody like that who maybe he's 80% of what Chris Jones is, right? Just somebody who can take up two blockers. He can win from time to time. He can push the pocket. And for once, and as long as I can remember, clog up the A gap so we don't get run right up the gut. Because, in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we're going to have that test, right? Can we force Derrick Henry outside? And I'm hoping Walker can be the one to do it.
And we talked a lot about the D lineman, but I thought another rookie that played really solid was Hancock. A lot of solid reps. And I know it's, again, preseason. Trey White was targeted 5 times with 5 receptions against. Something that we were both kind of a little afraid of like, what's he going to do when game action starts? People are not going to throw at Benford.
Right.
So when the young guys step up, Benford stepped up when we drafted Elam 1. Who's to say Hancock doesn't do kind of what Benford did?
Yeah.
But, just thoughts there on Hancock's strong play in his initial. And then McDermott even brought him up by himself of how well he played in the game.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything negative to say. As you said, it's always good to see young guys who are out there, their first live NFL action against the other team, playing and playing well. The one thing I'll say in Trey's favor is that he's playing against Russell Wilson, who he's looking for any completion. Like that guy what he had was 6 of 7 for like 28 yards or something like silly. So I'd like to know how many yards Trey actually gave up because yeah. But that being said, right? I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of, right? To have because Hancock's what, a fourth round pick, fifth round pick.
Yeah.
To have somebody like that, push a vets and get playing time because you obviously mentioned Christian Benford and with Max hurt. So no, I thought they played really well. And one guy that I'll mention is I know we had a drop early, Hawes, but I thought Hawes did a real nice job in the run game in terms of blocking for the backs.
Yeah, and then that's something you and I mentioned when they drafted him of what he can add to the run block game, right? That's what he's good at right now, and he repped out well, and that's what you would hope again is
Mm-hmm.
his strength showed out to the NFL, not against starters, but he was doing what he should do against them. And I just think of what that could open up if instead of having to use a 6 offensive lineman, we throw a tight end out there who can block comparably to what that tackle would do and what that adds to a threat in the passing game of okay, you can't like he can do one of those quick delay blocks and out into the flat type thing where that's just not something they're used to based on what we did last year. So
Yep.
that was a strong thing there for him as well. Now, all that said, I think Landon Jackson didn't have a great game.
No.
Like there was a couple reps I watched and I came back and watched it and like he was getting thrown down on his pass rushes. He had a turnover wiped away because he was lined up offsides. And it wasn't like the quarterback knew it was going to be that. He threw a pass, it was picked off. And the only thing that caused that not to happen was him being offside. So I look forward to him having a bounce back game. I would hope that he's that type of dude that, all right, I put crap out there last time. It's time for me to kind of show out this time like my running mates did in their first game.
Right. Yep.
And moving on from rookies, veterans. Joey Bosa, I was impressed with in his limited act. Like he looked active. Like he looked really good against the run. He's healthy, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And Joey Andreessen, who last year was a kind of shocker guy, like he's continuing to show that when you put him out, like especially against the run, the pass, but if just a specific run defender, he is really good. So thoughts on those two from their first game?
Yeah, no, I mean Bosa was. I'll admit that every time he was out there, I was like, oh man, here we go. Like we're gonna have some injury here, but no, I thought he played really well. I mean, I got excited after the first couple of plays, just thinking of what he and Groot and Ed Milano looked awesome. What those guys could all do together, especially given the fact that the safeties that we brought out there are not our starting safeties. The fact we're missing our rookie first round pick, Bernard, the captain of the defense, wasn't out there. Given all of those things, I thought they played really well. And same thing with Andreessen, right? And I won't knock him too hard just for the fact given like where he's come and the fact that like he still has such a motor. I mean, that's ultimately I think what's going to be his calling card, and while he'll stick around is just he just has a motor. He doesn't give up. He goes. And so if he can add or learn or become a better pass protector, or not pass protector, gosh, and you know what I mean. I think it would be awesome for him and the Bills.
And that part of me kind of hopes like we all believe this is Milano's last year in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I think even if he has a good year, I don't think they're going to pay someone his age the money he's going to try to get.
Right.
I would be like if Andreessen continues to be like, I would love to see him get a chance to start alongside Bernard and just see what those two can do in the defense. I know Dorian's out there, but I know. Just Joe's whole story just would be so great if he ends up being like a Pro Bowl alternate type of player. That'd be so
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I'm not expecting like stardom, but Pro Bowl alternate means you're pretty good. That type of play would be pretty fun to see.
Did Dorian play, or is he
No,
hurt?
he was just coming back from injury.
Okay.
They didn't want to push him.
Yeah, because he was a guy that I was out there, and I thought it was him. And like the dude I was watching had a terrible play. I'm like, ugh, Dorian. But it was that guy that's number 49 that sort of looks like him.
Well, you know that number 4, he's also from Virginia Tech, like Edmonds.
Yeah.
So,
Keontae Jenkins.
yeah, it's not like that. I don't think that was an accident. He chose 49.
Sure.
But a lot of defensive talk so far. Offensive wise, I think the line looked just like they normally do.
See, I was going to say something different because even though, Carter played, but I don't know if Dexter Lawrence plays. I don't know if Thibodeau played. I don't know if Brian Burke played. And there's a couple of plays where Carter gave Dion all he could handle and then some. I mean, just a quick aside, I think the Giants' defensive line is going to be absolutely filthy this year. They alone are going to win that team some games. But sorry, go ahead. Outside of Carter, yes, I agree with you.
And I think, and I saw what you like, because I go back and watch stuff. The reps that you're talking about of Dion, but I always think of Sean Merriman. Remember when we got him and he just went 110% in the preseason and like got in, everyone's like so excited in the offense. I was like, dude, this is. I have a feeling like they just for Dion, he didn't match the energy level because why would he?
Mm-hmm.
That's Abdul Carter's first game out. I mean, good for him. Like we said, it's a number 42 player in the NFL. He was winning reps against, but I think part of it has to be with that because in the last 2 seasons, Dion's allowed like 56 pressures on 1,200 pass reps. So I just think that was just him not being able to match that rookie's energy level.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, he 100% did get whooped a couple times. But the quarterbacks, let's talk about them. Everyone will point to the stats and talk about Mitch, but it's the things Mitch didn't do is why I do not want him as a quarterback. One in particular on the first drive when they had a 3rd and like 15, which isn't unheard of for us to convert with Josh. Quick, he decides to throw it to Kincaid when right in his field of view, you see Moore going right down the middle with nobody there for easily probably a touchdown. And he just doesn't either see it but I don't know how he doesn't. It's those types of things that don't show up on the just stat sheet of, oh, look he had a nice completion for like 12 yards. Yeah, he could have had a completion for 70 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Trent Edwards at the end, just like he wants the easy stuff and isn't going to push it downfield.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think that's ultimately what's landed Mitch into the backup quarterback role is the same thing that plagued him his entire career is that, this was what Madden 09, his vision cone would be super narrow. But on top of it, like once the bullets start flying, so to speak, he just seems frazzled back there. Where like Josh, it's controlled chaos, and you never feel, or at least recently, the last few years, you never feel like he's out of control, right? Things are going crazy back there, but it seems like Josh is in control the entire time. Whereas Mitch, those couple of times where he had some pressure on him, it just seemed like he just looked like, how do I get rid of this football? So yeah, no, I agree with you. Like if you look at the numbers, he and White had very similar numbers, but the feeling, if you watched the game, the feeling that I came away with was entirely different from the two.
I feel like White would give us a better chance to be somewhat of a good team without Josh.
Mm-hmm.
I think we suck without Josh.
Yeah.
And that doesn't factor in how many drops White had to deal with. And like he's pushing the ball down, like he's pushing it downfield when it's there. Which leads me to our another star now is Shavers, who you and I loved last year.
Yep.
And all this guy does is keep making plays. And I've just come to my mindset of what does he do that Curtis Samuel can't, but way cheaper?
Yeah.
Like why if Shavers keeps doing what he's doing, Samuel continues to be hurt. Other than like I know we like probably owe a little bit of guaranteed money on his contract, why wouldn't we put some Shavers out there instead of Samuel?
Yeah, dude, I have absolutely no idea. I mean, given what little Samuel did last year, or because he was hurt, and the fact that he's not really around, or available now, honestly, I would shelve him for most of the rest of camp. Wait till a team, who has some sort of massive injury issues at the receiver position and trade him away, or the way things have been going for us, right? I mean, we might need him anyways, but yeah, I'm with you. Like I would just sit him, have him get healthy, and then at the end of camp, trade him away because yeah, Shavers just every time he gets like on the field, he makes a play. Like even earlier in the game where he ran a little hitch and he turned like he was open, and granted he and the quarterback they were off and the ball actually went to the defender. So who knows if there was a little bit of miscommunication with the quarterback, he might not play. But either way, like he was open, right? Like he got separation from that DB and had the ball been in the right spot, that's a 6 or 7 yard gain. So yeah, I love Shavers. As you said, he just makes plays, and I would love to see him. Plus, not that being a fan favorite means anything, right? But like his teammates say nothing negative about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder if your Shavers, like if the MVP of the NFL is saying that you're awesome and you ball out and your fellow receivers are just like everyone is loving you, then what else do you have to do? Right? Like what more can you do?
Yeah.
So I think it would just be a nice story. Plus, just the overall message it sends for the organization of like, hey, stick with us, keep working hard, and it can pay off.
Yeah. And another receiver I thought was impressive, Josh Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
If you looked at like what we wanted him to do and what he wanted is going to be, is like he's so shifty to beat man press and get away from man coverage, which was a huge weakness for us last year.
Yep.
So to me, like he showed what he needed to show, and running backs. I know you said it during the game. At this point, it's hard. Like you have to discuss it, even though I don't want to. I thought Ty Johnson showed what again, just how good he is as an underrated guy.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Ray Davis. Do the Bills need to keep having the headache? Like even during the game, like Cook decided to warm up but not do anything. McDermott's asked about it in the press coverage. You can tell he's getting annoyed by having to talk about it. Like, at what point does the headache just be like, we don't care what we get for him, he's gone?
Yeah. I mean, I've been there, but I just think as the days go by, as every day that goes by, Cook is, I mean, I have no idea what the offer is on the table. I'd like to think it's at least what Kyron Williams got.
Yeah.
I think that's what most people think. It's very similar, either $1 million more or $1 million less. But ultimately, like that is your peer, that is your comparison. I'm sure you had a lot of touchdowns last year, but you didn't play. I don't know. Like is the comparison. And so if you aren't willing to take that money between Ty, Ray, and Frank Gore looked decent, Jr. It's just be done with it, right? Just I don't know. I mean, again, I'm probably the wrong person to be talking about this, but it's just so irritating just to have the same of like on a team where there's selfless people and team guys abound, right? Like that is the MO of the Buffalo Bills. And I'm not calling James selfish because I understand that the running back position has a short shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
However, right?
Yeah, he's costing himself money in the long run.
Oh, sure. Because ultimately, right, the Bills could totally screw that guy, right? Because he's on a contract this year They could franchise him next year. You want to know who's paying 27-year-old running backs? Nobody.
Yeah, he'll become a bounce around the league guy at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I slowly have went to your side of that of just it's not worth the headache. The one thing I'm really interested in is because Hard Knocks gets stuff that other like media outlets can't. Tomorrow's show, like, is there going to be anything new about James Cook that those cameras are able to get? Because I know I loved the show last week, but I think a lot of just casual fans who expect like drama, I don't think they realize what the Bills have built of like we're not a drama organization.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how they play the James Cook thing because ultimately the teams do have final say of what is shown. So
Actually, so I was going to actually ask if the Bills get to see it before it goes out.
I don't think they get to see the whole thing, but they kind of know what's going to be in it,
right?
And they can nix things.
Okay.
So I wonder if they got anything good on Cook, if the Bills even allow it to be shown. But if I'm the Bills, I would. If it's him looking bad, I'd let it go out there of like, man, just look what he's doing.
Yeah, well, on the flip side of that, if you're thinking about trading him,
yeah, it wouldn't look good. Wouldn't look good for that.
Like, no, he's a team guy. He's doing it the right way. He actually was hurt.
And then another thing that was surprising under the radar, Laviska Shenault has been kind of like a forgotten person. Punt returner, kick returner, and he was a gunner on special teams.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he's somebody that we're not thinking about that's going to steal a roster spot of if he's doing all the special teams plus the returner with the new kickoff rules, there's not going to be many touchbacks now. Teams aren't not going to kick the ball into the end zone automatically bring it to the 35. They're just not going to.
Right.
So I wonder if that has helped him because if he's doing all the teams, is he going to sneak in and steal a roster spot? Because he's not anything you and I have, and really anybody I've seen has contemplated is him making the roster. But
yeah,
thoughts on that?
Given the position he plays, I mean, yeah, I very well can see him, us holding on to 6 receivers, right? With him being, in effect, an emergency receiver, but a guy, as you said, who does all the different special teams. And because, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize it, and I think most NFL fans, like, until you see it and you see it, like, oh, the 35 is super close, right? Like, for some of these really, high-end kickers, you're 20 yards away from getting points.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Bass did make a 61, 62-yarder last year, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's huge. One thing that maybe you can clarify for me is that, they said if it hits in the landing zone, but then gets downed in the end zone, it goes to the 20.
Yes.
Does that mean if they were to kick the ball, it hit in the landing zone, but then bounce through the back of the end zone, it goes to the 20?
Yes.
Because I wonder if you're going to start seeing this like tactic where they get kickers that, like, in effect, it's kind of like a pooch where they kick it straight super hard, right? And just try to get it on the ground in the landing zone to skate through the back of the end zone. Because if you had a kicker that could do that.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah, to bring it back to the old 20 on touchbacks would be. I don't know enough about kicking to know if that's really like because they're all lined up so close to the landing zone. Like where the two lines are, if that's something they can do. But like you saw it a few times. When the ball hits, they can start running.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to have a lot more strategy on kickoffs now than it used to be.
No, I'm excited. I think this actually fixes it. Like, I think they finally have fixed it to make that play a viable play, which in effect, it is almost the best of both worlds because you take that, like, guys getting a 30, 50-yard head start on a sprint. You've taken that out. So now it's only like a 10-yard, so they're not going that fast. but now you've made it so the returners are going to have to return the football. So yeah, I think this is like finally a nice marriage where for once NFL tweaks, and I guess we'll see how it goes. It seems that they've gotten something right because oftentimes they change so many things. And we're like, why? Like the whole landing on the quarterback thing. Gosh, that drives me nuts. Like that just like it happened during our game, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was watching a replay of something on TikTok, and it showed Epinesa sacking Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't remember that play. I'm like, what is that penalty for? I'm like, oh, he fell on. I'm like, what is he supposed to do? He's falling on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's stupid.
I get it, like not driving him in, but yes, yeah, so, sorry, I'll let it go.
No, but yeah, if you're like you're supposed to, as you're falling, put your arms out to brace you. Like, who?
It's a split second.
And then your arm breaks bracing yourself. Yeah. Sorry, fella. So moving on, looking forward to this coming week. The thing I want to see is Josh going to play? Mm-hmm. You saw Patrick Mahomes play a little bit. You saw Joe Burrow play a couple series.
Kyler Murray played.
Lamar kind of seemed like the other high-profile guy who didn't. So I personally hope Josh gets to play.
Same.
And they play safe. Like anyone get near him, just fall type thing. But with all the moving pieces we have on offense, I would like to get some game reps against actual opponents. Your thoughts on that part of Saturday?
100%, especially given the fact that the Bears defense is – I watched the Bears games. I thought Caleb would play, but must be the coaches don't want him to be out there and show the world that he sucks. Honestly, that's the only thing that makes sense. But I watched a lot of that game, and their D-line looked pretty good. So I think that would be a nice, especially maybe for like the first quarter, the first couple of series, a nice ones versus ones sort of, as you said, get some game reps with these receivers. Is Palmer still able to get open? Can Josh hit him?
Yeah.
Is Keon, can he make some of those contested catches that he's made in practice? We get in the red zone. Can he find one of his many tight ends? Just a lot of things like that. So yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to see Josh a little bit.
I really do not want his first game action to be Sunday night against the Ravens.
Yeah, agreed.
Because the Ravens are going to be so jacked for that game in terms of like revenge, and like Lamar is going to be like, I gotta like, and he's a regular season guy. Like he is a fantastic regular season quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ever going to deny that. He choked in the playoffs until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
But in the regular season, there's nobody comparable in NFL history to what he can consistently do.
And their defense is just it's stupid, the guys that they have on there.
I don't think they get enough crap for not even making championship games.
Yeah.
For as good as that team, like if you flip quarterbacks, I have no doubt in my mind that the Ravens have made 2 to 3 Super Bowls during these quarterbacks' career.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the Bills would be much different. I think they probably lose a little bit more.
Same.
But Josh is going to – if I just think of the AFC Championship, the Ravens lose 17-10. If the Bills' defense ever holds Mahomes to 17 points in the playoffs, we're going to win by 2 scores.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, ugh. And then that brings like Josh Allen getting 3 tier 2 votes in that executive voting thing is beyond stupid. But we're not gonna dive into all that nonsense. But so little Bills history today I saw on Twitter, or X if you want to call it that. This was the day in 2018 that kind of paved the way for what the Bills became when they traded Ronald Darby. Then they traded Sammy Watkins, which all laid the groundwork for everything that worked out to get who built this team. So I remember how like crazy those few days were way back then. Like, man, what are we doing? Like, but like, so in honor of that, let's just give one. What would be an equality of that today? Like, who would get traded? You'd be like, man, I didn't see that one coming. Team today.
Man, I mean, there's so on the Bills or just in general.
On the Bills, like who could you see being saying, all right, I'm going to get something for him before we lose him, or while his value's at the highest, and maybe we don't value him as high.
Ed.
I've seen that a few times, like Ed being thrown into some of these trades people are saying.
Yeah, I mean,
why Ed though? Why do you think Ed?
Well, just because I think he has a lot of upside. He's played, last season aside, he's played pretty well. But that being said, he was touted as the next Aaron Donald, right? And largely just because of his size, and I don't think he's really lived up to being seventh or ninth overall. Yeah. I forget exactly where he was drafted, but he hasn't lived up to that billing. We pay him a lot of money. And so, people need, or it just could very well be that he is a better fit on a different team, right? Like, because if you have a team that has a decent pass rush, and that they already have a larger defensive tackle, but they need a sort of a pass rush defensive tackle, I think Ed would be good. But because ultimately anybody else, right? Like, or I guess, him on defense and Kincaid on offense.
Yeah. I would say, I was going to say Ed. I wouldn't be surprised within the next 18 months if Ed is no longer a Bill.
Yeah.
Like, unless he has an insane season this year and then he finally is living up to what we paid him. But, it's preseason. It's been fun. Like, we're actually, it's not like hypothetical anymore. We're seeing what we've been talking about. So it's great to have football back. Any closing thoughts before we say sayonara to our viewers?
Again, I think this week, if Shavers goes out and he has a couple big plays with Josh at quarterback, I think that cements him as our wide receiver 5.
Yeah. I would like to see, if Josh plays, I'd like to see him out there with Josh to see how it works.
Same.
For me, I would like to see Landon Jackson bounce back, and I really hope Rapp and Bishop are healthy enough to actually play.
Right.
Those are my few things I'm looking for. But with that, we are closing out our third episode of Season 2 here at SSBills Talk. The Bills play Saturday night in primetime against the Bears. We will be back on Monday evening next week to dissect that game. Look forward to the finale. For Dr. Duncan, I am Lawrence Foster here at SSBills Talk saying, Go Bills.